12 R&B songs, massive hits, multi-million sellers, except they weren't supposed to be hits at all. They were B-sides, throwaway tracks. The songs record labels buried on the flip side of singles they actually believed in. But DJs had other ideas. Radio listeners had other ideas. And when the people spoke, the labels had no choice but to listen. These are the stories of the greatest mistakes in soul music history. Number 12, Stevie Wonder, My Cherie Amour, 1969. 19-year-old Stevie Wonder wrote this for a girlfriend named Marcia back in 1967, titled it Oh My Marcia, recorded a rough version and tossed it in his tape box where he kept song ideas. By the time Motown pulled it back out, Marcia was gone. So they changed the title, My Cherie Amour, and buried it as the B-side to I Don't Know Why. But here's what Motown didn't count on. January 1969. The label pushes I Don't Know Why hard enough that it peaks at number 39. And that's where the story should end. But radio DJs kept flipping the record. Listeners kept calling stations asking for that B-side. The song Motown barely promoted, the one they'd shelved for a year before even releasing it. Then a Virginia DJ in Roanoke makes the call, plays My Cherie Amour on loop. Audience goes crazy. Other stations follow. Motown falls off the Hot 100 in April. Looks like the single died. But fan response to My Cherie Amour keeps building in the background, quietly, persistently. Here's where it gets interesting. Tamla re-releases the song in May as the A-side. It enters the Hot 100 at number 70, climbs for 2 solid months. First week of August 1969, it peaks at number 4. End of the year, it ranks number 32 for all of 1969. That B-side nobody wanted became an album title, a permanent standard, and one of Stevie Wonder's most recognized songs ever. And if you've ever had someone walk away before you could tell them how you felt, you know that ache in the chorus. That's why it still plays. Number 11, The Miracles, Shop Around, 1960. Berry Gordy wakes up at 3 a.m. with a problem. He'd pressed thousands of copies of The Miracles' new single, already shipped it to Detroit record stores, but something about the recording bothers him. It's too bluesy, too local. It won't cross over. So he calls Smokey Robinson, calls the whole band. Middle of the night, get back to the studio. We're re-recording this right now. I hate to see you feeling sad and blue now. My mama they cut a new version with a poppier feel. Faster tempo, brighter energy. That's the one Gordy releases nationally in September 1960 with Who's Lovin' You on the B-side. Both songs written by Smokey. The label pushes Shop Around as the A-side. Mama giving her son advice about finding the right woman. Don't fall for the first one you meet. Shop around. Here's the thing radio didn't predict. Record buyers flip it. Who's Lovin' You gets attention too, but Shop Around becomes unstoppable. Number 1 on the Billboard R&B chart for 8 weeks. Number 2 on the Hot 100. Number 1 on Cashbox's Top 100. First million seller for The Miracles. First million seller for Motown Records, period. And here's what gets me about this one. Berry Gordy almost didn't re-record it, almost let that original bluesy version go out as is. If he'd done that, if he'd trusted his first instinct and gone to bed that night, Motown's entire trajectory changes. This was the song that proved the label could compete nationally, the one that gave Gordy the confidence to keep building, all because he woke up at 3 a.m. knowing something was wrong. And if you've ever had that feeling in your gut that won't let you sleep, that voice that says, this isn't right yet, you already know. Sometimes that voice knows more than you do. Real talk, only 9% of you are subscribed. That hurts. We're spending hours digging through archives, fact-checking every detail, bringing these stories back to life. And if you're watching this far, you clearly care. So hit subscribe. It's free and takes 2 seconds. Now, to my subscribers, barely any of you have joined the membership. And honestly, that stings even more. You know the work we put in. You keep coming back. If these videos have ever made you feel something, if this music means something to you, join the membership. It's $1 coffee a month, and it's the only way we keep this going. Let's build this together. All right, back to it. Number 10, Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive, 1978.
I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face. I should have changed that.
Mid-1978, Polydor Records asked Freddie Perrin to produce a new Gloria Gaynor track, a cover of The Righteous Brothers' Substitute. They need a B-side. Perrin brings in Dino Fakaris, his writing partner. Fakaris had just been fired from Motown after 7 years. Unemployed songwriter contemplating his fate, turned on the TV and saw a song he'd written playing in a movie, took it as an omen, started jumping on his bed saying, I'm going to make it. I'm going to be a songwriter. I will survive. That phrase became the song. Most of the lyrics came from Fakaris, that empowering spirit about moving on after devastation. Gloria knew it was special the first time she saw the lyrics.
But then I spent so many nights thinking how
they squeezed the recording into 35 rushed minutes at the end of a session. Everyone who worked on it knew I Will Survive was superior to Substitute, but the president of Gaynor's label specifically wanted Substitute as the A-side, released it as planned. Then October 1978 hits. Substitute peaks at number 107, barely registers, but club DJs start playing the B-side, then radio stations join in. Fan response builds. Polydor finally flips the single and re-releases I Will Survive as the A-side. Here's what happened next.
you did me wrong.
Number 1 in the United States in March of 1979. Number 1 in the UK, double platinum certification, becomes one of the most famous disco songs ever recorded. An anthem for the LGBT community. An anthem for anyone who's ever had to pick themselves up after being broken. And here's the part that still amazes me. Gloria Gaynor recorded it as a throwaway. Label tried to bury it. Fakaris wrote it during unemployment, channeling his own survival story into lyrics about a bad breakup. None of them could have predicted it would outlive disco, outlive the 70s, and become the song people reach for when they need to remember they're still standing.
Got all my life to live, and I've got all my love to give, and I'll survive.
If you've ever had to walk out of something that was killing you, you know, that first verse. At first I was afraid I was petrified. That's not just a lyric. That's the moment before you find your strength. Number 9, Bill Withers, Ain't No Sunshine, 1971.
Wonder if she's gone.
July 1971. Bill Withers is 32 years old, a few days removed from installing toilets in airplanes, working at a factory making toilet seats for 747s when he records his debut album, Just As I Am, with producer Booker T. Jones.
Ain't no sunshine when she...
The song came from watching a movie, 1962's Days of Wine and Roses, Lee Remick and Jack Lemmon playing alcoholics who were alternately weak and strong. That dynamic stuck with Withers. Inspired him to write about absence, about missing someone when they're gone. He records it with Booker T producing, Donald Duck Dunn on bass, Al Jackson Jr. on drums, Stephen Stills on guitar. The famous I Know section, where Withers repeats I know 26 times, was supposed to be a placeholder, temporary vocal until he wrote better lyrics, but everyone told him to leave it, so he did.
Sunshine when she's gone.
Sussex Records releases it as the B-side to Harlem in July 1971. Harlem was the intended hit, but DJs flip it. Start playing Ain't No Sunshine instead. Listeners call stations requesting it. The B-side nobody promoted. Here's what that led to.
Wonder this time where she's gone.
Number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. Number 6 on the R&B chart. Bill Withers' breakthrough hit. First of his 3 gold records. Wins the Grammy for Best R&B Song in 1972. Rolling Stone ranks it 285 on their 500 greatest songs of all time. And here's what makes this one different.
Only darkness every day.
Withers wasn't a kid. 32 years old with a regular job, making airplane parts, no connections, no obvious path to stardom, just a song he wrote about a movie and a voice that sounded like truth. Radio heard that authenticity and couldn't ignore it. If you've ever felt that emptiness when someone leaves, you already know. No intro, just straight raw soul. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Sometimes the simplest line hits the deepest.
I know, hey, I ought to leave the young thing alone. But
Number 8, Aretha Franklin, I Say a Little Prayer, 1968. Aretha Franklin and the Sweet Inspirations are in the studio rehearsing songs for the Aretha Now album. Between takes, just goofing around, they start singing Dionne Warwick's I Say a Little Prayer, Bacharach and Hal David's song from 1967, written about a woman praying for her man serving in Vietnam. Franklin reinvents it completely. Clayton Ivey's piano work takes center stage. Sweet Inspirations' choral vocals add new power. It's significantly different from Warwick's elegant original. And everyone in the studio realizes they're hearing something special. But Atlantic Records already has the A-side picked. The House That Jack Built, that's the song they're promoting. I Say a Little Prayer gets relegated to B-side status. Released July 1968. Here's what Atlantic didn't expect. Radio DJs start playing both sides. The House That Jack Built climbs to number 6 on the Hot 100, number 2 R&B, solid hit. But I Say a Little Prayer starts accumulating its own airplay in August. Builds momentum through September. October 1968, it reaches number 10 on the Hot 100, number 3 R&B. Same month, the single gets certified gold. Then it goes international. September 1968, I Say a Little Prayer peaks at number 4 in the UK, becomes Franklin's biggest UK hit, stays there until her 1987 collaboration with George Michael, I Knew You Were Waiting.
care for you. Oh, yes, I do. Walk on me.
February 1987, UK Music Weekly. New Musical Express publishes its critics' top 150 singles of all time. Aretha's I Say a Little Prayer ranked number 1, above Al Green's Tired of Being Alone, above Warwick's Walk On By. And here's what's beautiful about this. They recorded it for fun, between official takes, playing around with a song they loved. That spontaneous joy translated into one of the most acclaimed soul recordings ever made. Franklin's 9th consecutive Hot 100 Top 10 hit on Atlantic, each of those 9 peaking at a different position. If you know what it feels like to send hope out into the universe for someone you love, you already understand. Every morning, every night, every moment, saying a little prayer, that devotion never goes out of style. Number 7, Booker T and the MGs, Green Onions, 1962. May 1962, Stax Records house band is waiting in the studio for a rockabilly singer. Guy's running late, so they fill time fooling around with an instrumental. Booker T. Jones on organ, Steve Cropper on guitar, Louis Steinberg on bass, Al Jackson Jr. on drums. Nobody's trying to write a hit, just jamming, killing time. Jones starts playing this hypnotic organ riff in F minor. Rest of the band locks in. They recorded that night almost as an afterthought. Call it Green Onions because Jones thought the groove was funky, like the vegetable. Stax releases it in May 1962 as the B-side to Behave Yourself on the Volt label. Behave Yourself was supposed to be the single, the one they promoted. But Steve Cropper takes a copy to a Memphis radio station the next morning. DJ loves it. Plays it 4 or 5 times in a row. Listeners go crazy. Phones light up. Here's what nobody saw coming. Behave Yourself disappears, gets completely forgotten, but Green Onion starts climbing. Stax flips the single and re-releases it with Green Onions as the A-side. It goes to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 1 on the R&B chart. And here's the wildest part. Booker T and the MGs had never released an album. This was just the house band, the guys who backed everyone else's records. Now they had a number 1 R&B hit with a song they wrote waiting for someone who showed up late. That groove became one of the most recognizable instrumentals in soul history, covered hundreds of times, used in countless films and TV shows. If you've heard it, you know it immediately. That organ, those drums, that pocket, it's the sound of 4 musicians so locked in they don't need words. And if you've ever been in a moment where everything just flows, where the groove takes over and you're not thinking anymore, just feeling, you already know what they found that night. Sometimes the best things happen when you're not trying. Number 6, Spanish Harlem by Benny King. Fresh out of the Drifters. First solo session, and nobody at Atlantic Records could agree on which song should be the A-side. Jerry Lieber and Phil Spector had written Spanish Harlem together, Lieber teaching the younger Spector how to craft a hit. They'd pulled inspiration from Ravel and Debussy. created this romantic metaphor about a rose growing through concrete in the barrio, dressed it in Spanish guitar and marimba and strings that shimmered in the high register.
There is a rose in...
Beautiful song. Everyone agreed on that, but Atlantic wanted First Taste of Love as the A-side. Spector had co-written that one too. It felt safer, more conventional, the kind of thing radio programmers would recognize immediately. So Spanish Harlem got relegated to the B-side. The flip, the throwaway track you recorded to fill space on the 45, here's what Atlantic didn't predict.
I'm going to pick that road.
Radio didn't care about their marketing plan. DJs heard Spanish Harlem and started playing it anyway. That intro, those strings, that bass line, King's voice singing about a rose that only comes out when the moon is on the run, it stopped people cold.
Spanish Harlem.
Stations flipped the record, made Spanish Harlem the focus. And by March 1961, it had climbed to number 10 on the pop charts. Number 15, R&B, Atlantic's first big solo hit for Benny King. First Taste of Love, it charted at 53. Respectable, forgettable. And here's the beautiful irony. If you know someone who's grown up in hard circumstances but carries themselves with grace, who's made something extraordinary out of limited options, you already understand the metaphor. That rose growing through concrete, that's the song itself. Atlantic tried to bury it on the B-side. Radio dug it up and made it bloom anyway. Benny King became a solo star because of a song his label didn't believe in enough to put on the A-side.
A red rose up in Spanish.
Sometimes the industry guesses wrong, and sometimes wrong becomes legendary anyway.
There's a rose in Spanish Harlem.
Number 5, The Righteous Brothers, Unchained Melody, 1965. Phil Spector was furious, absolutely furious, and here's why.
Still more.
The Righteous Brothers record Unchained Melody for their album Just Once in My Life. Bobby Hatfield sings it solo. Won a coin toss with Bill Medley to decide who got it.
Wait for me. Whoa.
Medley produces the track himself because Spector only produced singles, not album filler. They finish it in about 30 minutes. Hatfield just kills it. Everyone in the studio knows it's special.
So much.
But Spector's the boss. He picks Hung on You as the A-side. Unchained Melody gets buried on the flip. July 1965 release. Spector deliberately puts throwaway songs on B-sides. Songs not meant to be played. Here's what Spector didn't account for. Hung on You fails to interest radio DJs. They flip the record over, start playing Unchained Melody instead. Spector starts calling radio stations, literally phoning them, asking them to stop playing the B-side. They don't listen. Song climbs anyway. Peaks at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. Number 14 in the UK, becomes the definitive version of a song first written in 1955 for a prison film. Alex North composed it. Hy Zarrett wrote lyrics. 3 versions hit the top 10 simultaneously in 1955. But Bobby Hatfield's 1965 take becomes the standard everyone remembers. Then 1990 happens.
Lonely Riverside, wait for me.
Ghost hits theaters. Patrick Swayze, Demi Moore, pottery wheel scene, Unchained Melody playing. The song explodes again 25 years later. Polygram re-releases the original 1965 recording, reaches number 13. The Righteous Brothers also re-recorded for Curb Records. Both versions chart at the same time. First act ever to have two versions of the same song in the top 20 simultaneously. And here's what's remarkable.
I really need no love. God's spirit.
Phil Spector fought this song, tried to bury it, tried to stop radio from playing it, but the people wanted what they wanted. That vocal performance was too powerful, too raw, too honest. You can't manufacture that kind of connection. If you've ever felt that desperate longing for someone you can't reach, you know I Need Your Love. Hatfield hits that high note and time stops. That's not technique. That's a man pouring everything he has into 4 words. And 40 years later, a whole new generation discovers it through a movie about loss and love crossing impossible distances. Some songs are just meant to be heard. Number 4. Number 3, Sam Cooke, You Send Me, 1957.
You thrill me. I know you.
Before there was Motown, before Stax defined Memphis soul, there was Sam Cooke.
Send me. I know.
Gospel singer transitioning to secular music, taking everything he learned in the church and bringing it to pop radio. And his Summertime as the A-side. Cover of the Gershwin standard. Beautiful performance, sophisticated. The kind of song that should establish Cooke as a serious artist crossing over from gospel.
Thrill me. I know you.
But DJs flipped to You Send Me. Cooke wrote it himself. Simple love song. Honest. Direct. That gospel-trained voice pouring emotion into straightforward lyrics about being sent by someone you love.
You send me honest.
Radio hears it and responds immediately. Listeners call stations requesting it. The B-side nobody expected. Here's what You Send Me does.
You thrill me, darling. You.
Number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 3 weeks. Number 1 on the R&B chart. Stays on the pop chart for 21 weeks total. Sells over 1.7 million copies. Becomes Keen Records' biggest hit. Establishes Sam Cooke as a pop star, not just a gospel singer making the crossover. And that changes everything. You Send Me proves gospel artists can succeed in secular music without losing their soul. Opens doors for everyone who comes after. Aretha, Marvin, Al Green. The whole tradition of bringing church emotion to pop songs starts here, with a B-side Keen Records didn't even promote. Here's what gets me about Sam Cooke.
And take you home. I know.
He had one of the purest voices in American music. Could have sung anything. Could have stayed in gospel and been legendary there. Instead, he risked everything to bring that sound to a wider audience. And the song that made it happen was the one his label buried on the flip side.
It's lasted so long.
If you've ever felt that overwhelming gratitude for someone who just sends you, who lifts you without even trying, you know that feeling.
Send me.
Cooke captured it in 2 minutes, 38 seconds. Made it sound effortless and changed pop music forever.
Now I find myself wanting to marry.
Number 2, Marvin Gaye, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, 1968. August 1966. The Miracles record I Heard It Through the Grapevine first. Norman Whitfield and Barrett Strong wrote it. Berry Gordy vetoes its release during Motown's quality control meeting, tells them to create a stronger single. Spring 1967, Marvin Gaye records his version. Whitfield wants him to sing it in a higher key than his normal range. Same technique that worked on David Ruffin for The Temptations' Ain't Too Proud to Beg. Gay argues. They do 10 takes. Whitfield loves it, believes it's a hit. Gordy blocks the release again. June 1967, Gladys Knight and the Pips record it. Whitfield rearranges it after hearing Aretha Franklin's Respect, wants to out-funk Aretha. Knight's version releases September the 1967, goes to number 1 on the R&B chart, number 2 pop. Biggest Motown single to that point. But Whitfield still believes in Gay's version, gets it placed on Gay's August 1968 album, In the Groove, not as a single, as an album track. Motown doesn't promote it, doesn't push it to radio. Just another song on the LP. Here's where it gets interesting. Chicago DJ E. Rodney Jones at WVON starts playing Gay's album version on the air. Listeners respond. Other stations pick it up. Fan demand builds. Gordy finally agrees to release Gay's Grapevine as a single in October 1968. Number 1 for 7 weeks. December 1968 through January 1969 becomes the biggest hit single on the Motown label until the Jackson 5's I'll Be There 20 months later. Stays in the top 10 of the Hot 100 for nearly 2 months, sells over 4 million copies, and here's what makes this one remarkable. Gordy fought this song twice, rejected the Miracles version, rejected Gay's version. Even after Gladys Knight proved the song was a hit, Gordy still wouldn't release Gay's as a single. Took a DJ in Chicago playing the album cut for Gordy to finally cave. That paranoid, clammy groove, that cold drum crack announcing the arrival, Gay wounded intense, choking out accusations about betrayal heard secondhand. It wasn't an obvious pop smash. Too dark, too unsettling, but it became one of the most acclaimed soul classics ever recorded. If you've ever learned something devastating through whispers and rumors instead of directly, you know that specific kind of hurt. Not just the betrayal, but finding out about it indirectly. Through the grapevine, that added layer of humiliation Gay captures in every word. 3 years, 2 rejections, 1 DJ believing in it enough to play the album track anyway. That's how close we came to never hearing it. Number 1, Ray Charles. What did I say? 1959? Late night, February 1959. Ray Charles is performing at a dance in Pennsylvania, Brownsville, small crowd. End of the night, the set's running short. They've played everything. Need to fill time. So Ray starts improvising at the piano. Electric piano. Wurlitzer starts playing this bluesy riff, calls back to the audience. They respond. Call and response. Church style. Building energy. The Rillettes join in with moans and gospel shouts. Ray's playing gets more intense, sexual, ecstatic. The line between Saturday night and Sunday morning disappearing completely. Crowd loses their minds, dancing, shouting back. That improvisation becomes a song. Ray takes it into the studio, records it as a 2-part single, over 6 minutes long, raw, energetic, provocative enough that several radio stations ban it, too suggestive, too much like church meeting bedroom.
Play it, boy.
Atlantic Records releases it with I'm Moving On as the supposed A-side. What did I say? Buried on the flip. Just Ray being Ray. Experimental. Not the commercial single. Here's what Atlantic didn't predict. Radio DJs flip it anyway. Start playing What Did I Say? Listeners demand it. The song banned in some markets becomes inescapable in others. July 1959, it peaks at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 1 on the R&B chart for 3 weeks. And here's what Did I Say does for music. It becomes the blueprint. Rock and roll had been sanitizing rhythm and blues, making it safer. What Did I Say brings back the raw sexuality and church ecstasy that got removed. Shows you can have both. Gospel fervor and Saturday night urgency in the same song. Every musician who comes after hears this and understands what's possible. Elvis covers it. Jerry Lee Lewis, Bobby Darin, countless others. But nobody captures what Ray did that night in Pennsylvania. That spontaneous combustion when he had nothing left to play and just started feeling his way through it. Here's what gets me about Ray Charles. He went blind at 7 years old, lost his mother at 15, built a career by feeling music instead of seeing it. And his greatest song came from a moment when he had nothing prepared. All right. Just instinct, just soul, just that call and response with an audience in a small Pennsylvania town who gave him energy and he gave it right back. I say that now. Tell me what I say. If you've ever been in a moment so powerful you forget where you are, when the music takes over and you're not performing anymore, just channeling something larger than yourself, you already know. That's what Did I Say sounds like. Lightning in a bottle, a B-side that became the foundation. When you see me in misery,